Here with head football coach Paul Winters for this week's Locker Room Report. Close loss up at Michigan Tech, 23-20. What are your takeaways and your final thoughts from that tough loss on the road?
Well, I thought that our kids battled from a defensive standpoint, played an excellent first half, kind of let down after their fake reverse pass, whatever it was, that gave them most of their yards for the game. You just can't do that. Offensively, I thought the same thing. We played pretty well in the first half and pretty consistently in the second half, but we just couldn't finish the game the way we needed to. And then special teams let us down.
Offensively, like you said, there are some positives. Hill and Moffitt combined for over 150 yards rushing. Jake Amrine completed 64% of his passes, didn't throw an interception. The offensive line was solid. Talk about some of those standout performances on the offensive side of the ball.
Well, I think the offensive line has been outstanding. We were maybe not as good pass pro as we have been in the past. Deontay Moffitt, I thought every time he touched the ball he was going to score. We just have to do a better job maybe getting a couple downfield blocks to spring him. I thought Jake Amrine stepped up in a big way, and we just, from his standpoint, that fourth quarter, last drive, let's finish the thing.
Couple standout performances on the defensive side of the ball. Brandon Tuck-Hayden, Tyler Houston had a great game. 10 tackles, a sack, interception, return for 29 yards. Talk about some of the young guys on defense. We've talked about Pittman and Eggleston and those guys a lot, but you got some young defensive potential standouts.
We do have a couple guys that are going to be standouts. I think if you look at Tyler Houston's play, big interception, led the team in production, made, I think, a sack on another play. Really was outstanding. Now, because he's young, and same with Tuck-Hayden, they're going to make mistakes. So there was a coverage mistake that gave up a pretty big play, and it was more, I'm young. I don't know exactly what I'm doing all the time, but if we can continue to grow with those two guys and with the other young guys that we have playing, they're going to be outstanding.
What's your overall, give us like a temperature of the locker room and the morale and the motivation of this team right now headed into the last couple of weeks of this season?
Well, I think the team is very motivated. We're playing to win football games, and our guys, especially this week with homecoming, they're as motivated as you can be. They want to win, and the big thing is to not lose confidence and to play for 60 minutes of just, we talked about relentless effort. We can do that. We can beat anybody, and that starts this weekend with homecoming.
Perfect lead in. Talk about what homecoming means to a football team and to a university. A lot of people coming back. We have fireworks. There's a trick-or-treat with the Warriors. There's a lot going on, and it should be a fun event, especially if we can maybe play that 60 minutes of football.
Right. It's a showcase for the team. It's a showcase for the university, for the athletic department. You have the guys who played in this locker room coming back, and as a player on this team, you want to show those guys, hey, I'm every bit as good as you were, and I have as much pride and confidence and self-worth as you had. So, they want to come out and show. And the same for the university. You've got alums coming back who are proud of what we've accomplished in the past and probably are looking a little bit down at what we've done this year, and we want to let them know, hey, you know what, this is temporary and we're going to build from it.
Talk about what Northwood does well and give us a few keys to victory.
Northwood runs the ball extremely well. They're an option team. They block extremely well. Great cut blocks. Defensively, they're one of the more sound football teams. I think they're pretty solid everywhere, run, pass, everything, and they're very good on special teams. They had a great win last week over Davenport. They're a good football team. The key to beating them is to get them off the field offensively. If they can just grind the clock down, it hurts you and kind of destroys you mentally. So you got to create some turnovers, and you got to get the ball back for your offense. And from an offensive standpoint, you got to get first downs and touchdowns.